Yo, what's happening, YouTube family? 2K Mechanic back with another video for you guys. And in today's video, we're gonna go over kind of important topic for me, since this is kind of a build channel slash gameplay channel. Not gameplay really, but tips and stuff like that on how to improve on 2K22. We got a good conversation going today. And today's question, or the question for this particular video, is: did glitch builds ruin 2K22 next gen? Right? A lot of conversations have been around glitch builds and how glitch builds give you such a superior advantage over normal builds. And we're going to talk about it today. We're going to dispel a lot of myths that people have on glitch builds and just the builder overall. And really just going to show a lack of awareness that we have as a community on especially the new builder system and in the builder system in 2K history overall, and how we do things, right? We're going to break down the misconception, hopefully, of imperial system versus a metric system and things like that. So stay tuned. All right. So, first things first, I want to say thank you to all the people that are subscribed, newly subscribers, returning subscribers to the channel, for checking out the videos. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you guys have far surpassed my expectations for this point in the year, as far as the comments and sharing the videos and liking the videos. I really appreciate that. All right, so I think before we go into the whole glitch builds, the whole builder system 2K22 next gen, I think we need to understand how the system works overall, right? But since I've been playing 2K, right, there's been the metric system and imperial system. So for those that don't know, the US, America uses the imperial system, which is kind of an older system. I think imperial system started in the UK, hence the word imperial, right? Long time ago, right? So we've kind of adopted that system and just kept that system. But the metric system is a little more precise when it comes to height and weight to a degree. So the US, and I could probably have on one hand maybe 4 countries that actually use the imperial system, but the rest of the world, the overwhelming majority, uses metric system. Y'all need to understand that. Because a lot of people say we need to get rid of metric system. No, metric system is more precise. It's just that in the US, we don't use it. I think the UK, Australia, Canada probably a little bit more peculiar cases because they use metric and imperial. And I think UK uses the stone system and stuff like that. Still in everyday communication. But if you're in a technical field, and a lot of guys that play 2K are not in the technical field, but if you're in a technical field, you're going to be converting a lot from metric to imperial quite often, because if you do international business, you will have to convert between metric and imperial, right? That's number one, right? So a lot of people say we don't need metric. That's crazy. This is an international game, right? This is an international game. So you need to, 2K will have stuff that appeals to the international crowd, and the overwhelming majority, like I said, 99% of the world uses metric system, not imperial system. In the US, we are a little different. All right, so let's get that out the way. So metric system not going nowhere, y'all. Number 2, the whole purpose of making the build, and this is why I created this channel, because I think we need another technical voice, because I like to play the game from a technical standpoint. We need the technical voice, and then we need to kind of really break down certain things that people say and do, and see if it's warranted or valid from my perspective, right? I've been playing 2K since 2K17, and there's a lot of misconceptions in the 2K community. So I made this channel to kind of break down some of that and get over the feel of the flesh and people's emotions, right? And really get down to the technical details. So the purpose of a builder, or making any build, is to give yourself a strategic advantage over what everybody else is doing, right? Everybody else usually kind of makes similar builds to their favorite content creators, or make a build to give a certain effect, right? I make a build for specific reasons, which is why I have such a lengthy breakdown of my builds, right? I want you guys to understand every move that I made and why I made that move. You see what I'm saying? So the purpose of a build, which you're going to put a lot of money into and a lot of time in, is to give yourself a strategic advantage against the competition, right? That is what your job is when you make a build. You see what I'm saying? So, and with that said, you can go back and check before I even started making glitch builds. I told you guys I like to make my builds in metric system because metric system gives you a better advantage compared to the imperial system. And that's a fact, right? Most people don't make their builds in a metric system because they don't really study the builder like that to, begin with. So you already putting yourself at a disadvantage. So coupled with, you have a channel like mine, or you have a channel like Got Mills, when we come to glitch builds or the builds overall in metric system, and even, I'm not sure if Uncle Demi does metric system or not, but metric system had always given an advantage because it gives you more control over your height and it gives you more control over your wingspan, which are the main driving factors that affect your attributes in this particular game. You got to know that. You got to, that's the foundation of builds. You have to know that. It's always been the foundation of builds. And if you don't know that and do that, then you put yourself at a disadvantage. But anyway, let's get into, I already rambled on for about 7 minutes. Let's get into what kind of started this whole thing. All right, so on the screen here, I'm gonna put what my man Badge Plug said on Twitter on July 8th. He said, for some reason, no one talks about this, but glitch builds on next gen is a gigantic problem. And if 2K23 has a builder system, it has to be fixed. Right? That's what my man Badge Plug said. And I love Badge Plug. He comes out with unique content since I've been playing 2K. I really only became aware of him probably in the past 2 years. But he's consistent, puts out a lot of content. I respect the grind, love Badge Plug, but I disagree with this statement here, right? So then we follow up with another person I like, my man Anonymous. Underneath that, he said, imagine Anonymous 2K TV has been the only person to address this since it's been a thing. I think he said the guy with the logo, right? I think Anonymous be going crazy on Twitter, right? He just kind of be typing and he don't even care about no spell check. Yeah, shout out to Anonymous. I love Anonymous's grind, his content. Huge streamer. Again, I disagree with his assessment, right? All right, what else we got? Underneath that as well, we got the young Swan Sensei, a OG in the community, right? He say facts. I don't know why no one else does either. Very weird, probably because creators don't be on it. And this is very valuable, right? He says probably because creators don't be on it. I think he's talking about next gen, right? So they don't see the gigantic problem. But again, I disagree with his assessment, right? And I don't know if this person is a content creator or not, but let's bring up his comment as well. He said, I think they were talking about glitch builds being in current gen too, and his response was nowhere near to the extent of how glitch works. On next gen. Current gen, you gain like half an inch and one attribute point in a few spots. Next gen, it gives you like 10 more speed, unlocks badges you wouldn't otherwise get. Pro dribble moves, Hall of Fame interceptor on a 6'9" with like an 83 ball, right? He's not entirely wrong, but like I said, the misconception is most people only make builds in Imperial system. And if you don't understand the metric system, then you will be at a severe disadvantage, and you don't understand the in-between heights and wingspans that come along with metric. Like I told you, metric is more precise, right? 7'2", when you talk about, I don't want to get too technical, but we talk about feet and inches, right? And then you talk about meters and stuff like that. That's a little bit different, right? And we talk about 0.1, 0.2, because 0.2, like point 0.01 meters is like 0.4 inches, right? It's not really it's not even half an inch technically. It's like 0.4 inches, right? So every 0.01 that you go gives you like almost half an inch, right? Which is, you see what I'm saying? There's more increments in between there. So you're gonna have more details in there, right? This is why I encourage everybody to do metric builds, right? If you want to do glitch builds, you don't have to do glitch builds, right? So these are the comments that we got off of Twitter. And there was a few other prominent content creators, influencers that were, kind of saying the same rhetoric and stuff like that. And this is not a video to go at any of these guys at all. This is a video to kind of let you guys understand what glitch builds really are, and to show you that it really doesn't give you that much an advantage, right? But before we get into that, no, let's go ahead and get into that. I don't want to waste any more time. All right, so let's put on the screen here. Let's put on the screen some of the differences, right? So we're gonna look at some of the popular glitches, right? So let's look at the 6-7, right? I'm not gonna do the 5-10. I mean, you can do 5-10 normal, right? You could also do the 5-10 in metric, right? So I'm not gonna really compare the shorter heights because, I mean, you could say like you get on the 6-1, you're able to get a 99.3 ball, but a 5-10 is still a little bit better from a bad spread perspective. So the lower heights glitch builds is, 10 and 12 and one, half a dozen. And I mean, the saying goes, a dozen and the other. But let's look at the 6-7 glitch 6-7 build, right? All right, so on the screen here we have a 6-7 compared to a 1.99 meter metric, right? On the left you have a 6-7. On the right you have a 1.99 meter metric, right? So what's the difference? Really, there isn't a difference. Why? Because the 6-7 glitch is the only difference you get between that and a standard 1.99 metric build is probably half an inch. Everything else is pretty much the same. You see what I'm saying? So when people talk about glitch builds, and when I remember I was telling you about technical analysis, right? They don't do the analysis. Why? Because they don't know too much about the builder. This is probably the most advanced builder we've had in 2K history, y'all, right? So when you don't play the game and you don't really understand how to make builds, then you say the comments that we've seen before. So what's the difference between a 6-7 and a 1.99 meter metric? 1.99 meter metric is a standard build. You don't have to glitch anything to make it. You just have to put your units in metric system and you can boom, make the build, right? And it's basically the same thing. If you don't want to do a glitch build, do a 1.99 meter metric build. If you want to do all that work to get a 6-7, half an inch, it's not really technically half an inch, y'all. It's only like 0.4, and you really can't see 0.4 inches in a game. So I really don't understand what the issue is. But anyway, stats are pretty much the same. Just make you a 6-6 build, y'all. 1.99 meter metric is a 6-6 build. It's actually 6.6 and a half. 6.5. That's 1.99 meters metric, right? So again, what are we talking about? What are we complaining about? I wish there was more technical analysis in the 2K community. That's why I created this channel, like I said before. But yeah, let's move on, right? Let's move on to one that's a little bit more important. All right, so let's look at the 6-9 glitch, y'all. Now, there is one glaring difference between the 6-9 glitched and on the right and the 2.40 meters metric. Now, 2.04 meters and 2.05 meters technically is still 6'8". It's not 6'9". 2.05 meters, I think it's like 6'8", 0.7, 0.8, somewhere around there, right? So it's really not 6'9", right? It's glitched. We glitched it and got it a little bit higher. The main difference between a 2.04 meter metric, which is a normal build, and a 6'9 glitched is probably the 90 steal that gives you Interceptor Hall of Fame, right? Everything else is kind of the same. So you get a +1 on a drive and dunk. And the reason you get +1 is because you're able to, on a 2.04 meter metric, you can only have a 2.29 meter wingspan. On the 6'9" glitch, you're able to get a 2.31. And in this game, when you have a longer wingspan, that gives you better stand and dunk, right? And it gives you more on your rebounding and, you know, more on your defensive stats, right? So let's see what the difference is. Let's see from a finishing standpoint. So you get +1 on stand and dunk, or 98. Is that really that big of a deal? Is that the +10 that the guy was talking about? No. Shooting, you lose 1 because of the longer wingspan. And same thing in the playmaking. And like I said, you could just do a 2.04 and then you lower the wingspan and you get an 80 ball handle with a 75 speed with ball. On a 6'9" glitched, right, you can't get the 75 speed with ball, you can't get the 80 ball handle with the max wingspan, right? And so you got to reduce the wingspan in both situations, right? And when you reduce the wingspan in both situations to get the 80 ball handle and 75 speed with ball, you cannot get the 90 steal. So it's a trade-off. You see what I'm saying? It's a trade-off. Okay. Let's look at the defensive rebounding, and the reason I'm gonna spend a little bit more time on this because the 6'9" is probably the glitch that everybody that's kind of OP, but at the same time, the 6'8" is just as good. Before we got the 6'9", you could do the 6'8" 2.04 metric and still be a demon, right? So interior is pretty much the same, and perimeter defense is the same. The only difference, like I said, is the steal, which is that 90 gives you Hall of Fame interceptor. And at the beginning of the year with the auto steals and with your long wingspan, yeah, it's kind of OP, but you can still get the same steals with the 6'8", y'all. You still get the same thing. Block is a 94 compared to a 95, and I think that's the difference between Hall of Fame intimidator, right, versus gold, which is kind of a big thing, kind of a big deal, right? Let's look at the speed. There's a +1 difference in the speed. Acceleration is the same. +1 in the strength, +1 in the vertical. Stamina is pretty much the same. So you get 2, I guess, key differences that you could say in the 6'9" glitched build, right? You get the block, and does your block go up as you increase the weight? I think you increase the weight and it will go up. You may lose the steal, but you can increase the weight on the 2.04 metric. And I think your defense, your rebounding, of course, will go up, and maybe your block will go up. I can't remember. But anyway, the main difference is the Hall of Fame interceptor, y'all. But, you know, shout out to my man Talib in Discord. Talib has like 3 6'8" builds. That's the primary build he used. A 6'8" is almost, if not as good as a 6'9". A 2.04 metric 6'8", or just a regular 6'8" standard build, is almost just as good as a 6'9" without the interceptor, y'all. Without the interceptor, y'all. That's the only difference. So again, where's this gigantic game-breaking change and difference between the two? It is not. It's just a lack of understanding of the builder and a lack of understanding of metric builds compared to imperial builds. All right, let's look at the 6'10". Right, 6'10" with clamps, right? So the 6'10" is on the right, 2.07 metric is on the left, and 6'10" glitch is really just 2.08 meters. On the left, 2.07 meters metric, right? So we're talking about half an inch, right? So let's look at the stats. Driving dunk 89. Pretty much all the stats are the same except speed with ball. And also keep in mind the 6'10" you get 77, so it's about the same, right? So you get a +1 on a perimeter defense, not game breaking. 82 on the steal, block 99, 86, 85. You see what I'm saying? O board, D board, speed pretty much the same. Strength, you get more, you get less on the 6'10" build, and that's because probably the weight disparity maybe, and the wingspan, and then vertical is pretty much the same. So again, y'all, if you don't want to make the 6'10" glitched and you want a tall build with clamps, you just make the 2.07 meter metric. Basically the same thing, same stats, just half an inch shorter, y'all. So again, where is this gigantic issue? Where is this gigantic problem? Right? This is the other reason why I told y'all that they're not gonna patch glitch builds. Right? Number one, it takes too much work to try to go in and fix all the little stuff. Like, how do you fix that? Sometimes it may just be it's just a small little glitch, and you don't really get that much of a benefit from it. Right? It's a metric thing. You know, so if we go back, the only real glitch on the 6.7 technically would be the 6.7 that you get a longer wingspan and you get gold intimidator. You don't get quick chain, you just get gold intimidator. Is it that big of a deal, y'all? Really, is it that big of a deal? You just make a 6.6. You won't get gold intimidator, but you'll be close. You see what I'm saying? Is it that big of a deal? No, not in my opinion. It's not that big of a deal, right? All right, so let's look at the last one real quick. Let's look at the last one. All right, so here's the big one that everybody may have an issue with, right? So there's a little bit of difference. It's not that big of a world difference, right? So we got the 7.2 regular on the left, and we got the 2.17 metric that a lot of you guys use on the right, right? And this is a standard 2.7 meter metric. This isn't revised or anything. Both of these, you can go in and make those right now without glitching anything, right? All right, so 7.2 regular. The big difference is you get a +3 on the drive and dunk, which is important, right? This allows you the 75 drive and dunk with the 75 vert. Allows you to get what is that? Is that elite big man contact dunks, something like that? Which is big, which is big, right? But like I said, these are standard builds you can make. Right, you can make the 2.17 metric now. You don't even have to glitch nothing to get that. But when you do glitch it, you only get half it, because 2.17 is not 7.2. 2.17 is 7.1.5. Right, so it's a half an inch shorter. So when you glitch it, you just get half an inch, y'all. Right, you get a slightly better stats to get the what is that? Elite big man contact dunks, which doesn't activate all the time. It activates maybe 20% of the time, right? Is that big of an advantage? No. What about the shooting? You get -1 on the shooting compared to a 7.2. What about on the playmaking? You get +6 on the ball handle, but you need a 50 to get unpluckable. So you don't even get unpluckable. So what's the point of the ball handle? Speed of ball +1. Let's look at the perimeter. +2 on +2 on your perimeter defense. Still, you get a +4. Is it that big of a deal? No. And for a reference, y'all, I made this with just I made this to get to 99 O board. A lot of times when people make the 7.2, and even in my case when I got the 7.3 Yao, you only have gold. They go for gold offense and hustle rebound. You only get gold. So, but I put it at 99 just to show a difference, right? Because a lot of people do put that at 99. All right, so look at the physicals. Where's that big +10 that you get between the two? You don't. You see what I'm saying? So the thing with the metric is, like I say, if you bring the weight down, just like with the 7.2, if you bring the weight down all the way, just like you would do in the glitch build, you get like 67 speed, 64 excel. With the metric, you get like a 69 speed and a 60, maybe 66 excel. So +2, right? You get a +2 speed and excel. All right, as if you go min weight. But anyway, so +2 on the excel, +1 on acceleration, +2 on the streak, and +5 on the vertical. Like I said, the biggest difference between the two is elite big man contact dunks. So where is this big overwhelming advantage that people talk about? This is a 7.2 glitched, right? Kind of comparing the two, right? So when you do a 7.2 glitch, it's just you're bringing the 2.17 meters metrics to the 7.2 height. That's it, y'all. That's it. So is it that big of a deal? No. Is it even worth doing the glitch? It depends if you just want the additional height or not, right? Some people just want the additional height. Some people are crazy like me and want to go through all the steps just for a small increase. But it is absolute necessary. Does it give you that much a competitive advantage? No. So what's the big issue, right? What's the big issue? The big issue is people don't understand the builder. That's what the underlying issue is. They don't understand the builder, number one, and number two, they don't understand metric to imperial in those conversions, which is understand. That's why, we got the channel like this and other channels to kind of show you guys the differences and make you guys aware and see if it's even worth the time to even try to do the glitch at all. You see what I'm saying? If I didn't have glitch builds on this channel, like I told y'all in the beginning before I started glitch builds, I would just give y'all the metric. I just give you guys a whole bunch of metric builds. It's not that big of a deal. It's really not. All right, so what's the key takeaways from this video, y'all? Number one, my opinion, we shouldn't penalize people like my channel and other channels for trying to be smart and technical. Because essentially when you say, we shouldn't have this, we shouldn't have that, we should get rid of this, we should get rid of that, what you're trying to do is penalize people that go in and study the builder for hours and days. We saying that's not relevant and we don't want that in our community. We want to just be able to go in and do what we like. Right? Glitches aside. Because we already established the glitches are not that important. It's just that was in the game. Some people figured it out. I figured out a few things here and there. And I showcased you guys and you guys really enjoyed that. And you made a lot of builds like that. But did you have to glitch it? Absolutely not. Some of my favorite builds are not glitch builds. And I use them today and still win at a high clip with them. Because at the end of the day, now we'll get into that point. Right, like I said, number two, it's not that big of a deal. Number three, it just shows, some of our favorite influencers and content creators are not all knowing, even myself. And they just play the game like the rest of us. They don't understand the intricacies and the details of the game. Some of them don't want to understand, but for overall, when you make statements like that, that just means I don't really understand, right? And I haven't done the research. Like most people, like if you ask anybody that does the glitches, they'll tell you it's not that big of a deal. You go back to Badge Plug's comment, you're gonna see I think Joey 2K, he's gonna show he said, even Hambo, they said it's not that big of a deal. You don't really get that much an advantage. But we don't want to listen to that. You see what I'm saying? We don't want to listen to the contrarian thought and the people that actually do the glitches that break down on how it works. We don't listen to them. We listen to the more popular people, because the overwhelming majority of people under that tweet are in agreement with Badge Plug and everybody else. And I think half of them probably never even played next year, to be honest with you. But I mean, that's where we are. So, that's key takeaway. Number four is my thing, and the most important thing to me, especially in this game, is not necessarily your build, but your stick skill and IQ. Your stick skill and your IQ. Right? So no matter what build you have, right? If you're playing somebody like a pro or that's elite at the game, that plays the games for hours out of the day, right, with the mindset to win, no matter what build you have, if you don't put the amount of time and dedication into the game, you won't be as good as that person. Whether that person has a glitch build, a regular build, metric build, whatever. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to be as good because you haven't put the time in. So focus on the skills, focus on the IQ, have fun, make whatever build you want to make, and then, go in and play with it however you want to play. And you don't have to listen to the noise because, like I said, a lot of times people don't know what they're talking about. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for checking out the video. I know it went kind of lengthy, but I want to break all this down for everybody. Stay tuned. I have another video probably coming out today or tomorrow. We're going to talk about something that may go into 2K23 that you might be unaware of in 2K22. All right. 2K Mechanic signing out. Appreciate you guys for listening and watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace, y'all.